Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Jones Mind Expander. It got a little bit of an overhaul for 2023. This board features Jones's Christensen Surf cam rocker, which is a directional cam rocker, so you get more rocker in the nose, camber underfoot, and then rocker in the tail. This is going to give you the load, pop, snap, and drive of camber underfoot, but you're going to have that ease of entry in and out of turns from that rocker, as well as more optimal powder float. This board is available in 146, 150, 154, 158, 162, and 166. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on an overcast day with slightly blowing snow. There was about 8 to 10 inches of fresh powder with chunky pow underneath and a little bit of crunchy pow underneath. You had powder, corduroy, chop chunder, kind of just a mix of storm-like conditions, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. With the change in the camber profile, this basically stiffens it up. It's still a directional flex, so slightly softer nose that stiffens up outside the insert pack all the way through the middle to the tail. There's a little bit of torsional flex, but it's not overly abundant. Basically, this board has become more of a precision ride than a loose, surfy ride. The stability has been amplified as well. You get a little bit of chatter in the nose when you're just charging flat bass, but it never really resonates underfoot. When you get into rutted out terrain, this board is more likely to plow through everything versus getting bucked around. Like I said, it's more of a precise ride than it is a loose surfy ride, so this just makes it more stable, especially underfoot. Alright, so by adding camber to this board, it obviously got more spring. The camber section itself is relatively easy to load up, and when you do, you roll back on that tail and you get a springboard effect right out of it. It pops. It's easier for porpoising in fresh snow, so you're just like popping along when you're in the flats, keeping your speed, launching pillow poppers, sending side hits. It's a board you don't have to be calculated with, but you're still going to be able to boost with. So when it comes to pow buttering with this board, this is where it kind of lacks with that new camber profile. It just fights you a little bit more. You want to get your weight outside the inserts and just engage those rocker sections, and you're going to put your weight into it more aggressively, and it's going to fight you the whole time. When it does lock in and you go to disengage, you're going to feel that snap and spring out of it, which is actually nice. But if you were looking for like more of a surfy, slashy, buttery pow board, that's gone. It's more precision based with it now. Yeah, it can butter if you know what you're doing. If you don't, well, you either need to learn or you need to find a different board. But it works and it's nice. Like, you can lay out a nice deep pow butter with this thing and then spring right out and go right back to hard slashing. So compared to the old version, which was a little sloppy in my opinion when you got on a groomer, this is more precise. It locks in, you can feel that traction tech really grip, and you get more power from the center back through the tail, which really lets you just drive a deeper carve. The nice thing is you can ankle steer this too with that traction tech, so if you're just doing minimal carve turns or you're just on edge and you just got to change your angulation a little bit, it's easy. If you want to lay this board over, go right ahead and load it up through the camber section, get it to springboard you right out of that carve. You're going to get that power and dynamic. You can really lay a trench with this when you need to, or you can be laid back. It's just a little bit more precise than the old version, as I've already said numerous times in this review. Who's this board for? The resort powder rider that has to cross a groomer and sometimes just wants to lay a trench. So if you loved the old Mind Expander, it was surfy, it was slashy, you're probably not going to actually like this. I, on the other hand, do like this. I like the power and drive that it got out of that camber profile. You sacrifice a little bit of nimbleness in the trees for more precision everywhere else, but I like that precision. It gives you a better snap and better drive overall. It still floats really well. It's still good in trees, don't get me wrong. It's just not as surfy. You just can't be on that back slashing it around as much. You're a little bit more weight forward, driving it a little bit harder. I understand that the fanboys of this are probably going to be upset, and by and large, it feels like a downgraded Ultra Mind Expander, which is not a knock on it at all. It's more approachable, in my opinion. This board was a blast to ride. Don't sleep on it. I still think this is a great resort powder board. Comparable boards: the Rome Ravine, the K2 Antidote, the Battalion Camel Toe. Binding recommendations: the Jones Mercury, the Union Ultra, the K2 Lean AT. This has been my review of the Jones Mind Expander. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.